There we go. Oh, fuck. I forgot to grab that shit. Oh, whatever. Forgot to grab some shit. Fuck. Well, that means I'm pausing for a minute to run off and do that, but not yet. But eventually. Yeah, it's like a little goofy girl. Big stretchy thing. Big stretch ball. Ooh, that's good. Blah, blah, blah. Actually, probably switch out and use this fucking thing. Oh yeah, that'd be way better. There we go. There we go. What are you doing over there? Goofy thing. What a goofy little thing. I'll say, it actually kind of feels a little weird doing a stream this early right now. Usually I'm doing this shit at 10. Or like 11 or midnight. But no, I'm doing it at like 7:30 or something. Not even 7:30. Well, basically 7:30. But it's like, that's new. I'm gonna see how it works if, like, especially after work and stuff, how that works out. I imagine at least like audience retention would be better because not in the middle of the fucking night. So that'd be nice. In time though, yeah. Ah. Man. What a day at work today, too. Luke decided to show up, I know, right? And after, it's me. Yeah. Because I'm always here. Decided to show up, yeah. But, yeah, had a pretty good work day today. Got a workout, like, while working. Like, the vice president happened to show up, like, when one of the dudes to do some orders came by, and I literally had the realization that I was by myself at that store for like at least like an hour and a half. Because when I showed up, there was a guy there. I haven't seen him yet, but I know he works there. And so he hasn't seen me yet, but he's like, all right, well, like I'm gonna be at least in the manager's office real quick, need anything and stuff. But after that, I'm probably gonna head. And I didn't hear that part though, because he came back and he's like, "All right, man, catch you later next time." Blah blah blah. I was like, "Cool," but I didn't think it was just straight by myself. Because then one dude said, well, I think at least one of like the many guys that would come in for shipments and stuff. He asked for my help to like unload a fuckload of this fucking like space gas shit, which they're like these heavy ass canisters, and shit. So fucking work out doing all that. And there was a massive shipment yesterday, apparently after I left for work, and there was a bunch of that shit like stacked up, like in a spot where they really shouldn't be. So I spent like a good like the first 3 to 4 hours of my shift just dead ass moving that shit around in between helping customers and stuff. Just literally moving it into a different spot so you can access other shit and they're just not in the way. But in the middle of like doing that, he's like, "I got to leave soon, so after this, that's it. Just call it good from there." And I was like, "Cool." And at this point, I'm just like dripping sweat now, like because it's like constant, and I haven't had a break yet. And I'm waiting for another guy, who's gonna be closing to show up, so I can't actually take that. It was just kind of like, a little like, damn. But it did give me a great chance to at least figure out more about what they got, product wise, and figuring the system out too a little more, like and figuring out about like what I do with the invoices when shipments come through. So I mean, hey, still a great learning experience. And the same dude like who's intense was not as intense this time. I assumed kind of correctly that like he's an intense guy and shit, but pretty chill, and as long as you're on his good side. Because he was mad about like all this space gas being in his office. Like he was like yelling on the phone, it's like, "Come pick your shit up." And I just start yelling in Arabic or something after that, or Farsi or some shit. I'm just like, whoa. He is fucking not happy. But as soon as it was me, it's like, "All right, just move all this and stuck it in like this and blah blah blah, and I'll let you know when there's customer outside." And I was like, "Okay," and just did that for like 3 fucking hours. I was actually really hoping it like picked up and got busy, but it didn't. I had like one moment when I was like doing some inventory inside with like a bunch of pods that we didn't get in for a while, and now we did. So and like half of them for some reason are just not in like our product list and shit. So I had to be like adding them to the system, because then he came back in wondering, I'm not done yet. And it's like there's a few customers, but also like 3 or 4 of these weren't on the system, so I'm having to add it before I can add it to the inventory. And it was like, oh, okay, when you're done, then come back, finish moving shit before I have to leave, kind of thing. I'm like, okay. And luckily, I was pretty much done at that rate. I was literally like on the last thing I have to add to the inventory and fill that up, and that was it. So. I mean, all in all, like, it's pretty, even with, like, the laborious aspect of shit, it's not bad. It's just the shipment stuff. I gotta, like, make sure I kind of figure that out a little bit, because they show up randomly. Like, they'll show up throughout the day, kind of randomly, and all that shit, and it's kind of like, I'm the new guy. I don't know much, really, about this, outside of, like, being able to add it to, our stock or whatever. But, so I'm still having to figure that part out, but everything else is pretty self-explanatory, though. So, how's your day? Not bad, just a lot of literally unironically working out, moving a bunch of space gas canisters and shit, fucking first 3 hours pulling up a sweat. By the time my coworker showed up, being like, "What's up, bitch?" Kind of walking in with a little sass. I was like, did a lot of inventory stuff and moving shit around in the office and stuff. VP guy was here. He was not happy about all the space gas shit being sent. He had to get like a few of his like family on top of like other people, that manage some of the other stores to come over and fucking, pick some of it up. So I've been kind of also helping them. Move shit around too. It's definitely just kind of like a very labor intensive day. in comparison to how it has been so far. Feel pretty crappy. Didn't even drink that much last night, but woke up feeling hungover. That's weird because I was the one who drank a lot, and honestly, I even when it was like 9 or 10 o'clock, you and Harley were still awake. I was like tossing and turning over hearing some shit and hearing Harley talk some shit too, by the way. So it's just like I was like, motherfucker. Like I'm at least not like tired or exhausted, but well, I kind of overheard some of this, Harley shit talk a little, and I'm like, fuck. I almost wanted to yell, "Fuck you, bro." I heard that, but I didn't because I was trying to at least catch an extra like 20 minutes of Z's before I like left, So that was a little like, what the hell, honestly. Not on your part, just Harley's part. I heard you being like, come on, bro, don't be disrespectful like that, man. It's like, I know you're actually being like legit. Like, and I actually legit appreciate like you're sticking up, pretty well on that. I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Like after just 20 minutes of silence, I'm like, what time is it? It's like 10 minutes till 10:30. Fuck it. I have a coffee that has like an extra oomph of caffeine in that bitch. Cracking that, smoking like 3 bowls really quick, waking up and getting out. I almost had a moment of like, oh god, my gut, like almost after my first toke, but after I took like a couple more, I was like, okay, I'm feeling fine, get a little more coffee in me, and then I was like, legit, okay, I'm fine. And that was like 10 minutes before, 11, I just went up there, and I think I showed up like maybe 2 or 3 minutes before 11 or something like that. It was at least either that or pretty much like on the dot. Dude, the Shadowbark Sog Cavs made me an admin. Oh, dude, that's fucking dope. Hell yeah. Still make really good money. Hell yeah, Logan. Yeah, didn't get any tips today or nothing. No one, gave out tips. Like, that tip jar's been empty the last 2 days I've been working. And it's just like, oof, damn. I love how Ben from the Drucker Peasants is the only reason why I know this song or know this band Law. It's like something of American Workers, like Lazy American Workers. That's what the band's is, and I only know them because Ben would just spam this song on DP every now and then. I end up looking them up, and their music's actually legit pretty fucking awesome. I will admit, at least this particular song is like, okay, I've heard it like too many times. I'd say it's real people won't help poor stoners in need. I know. Luckily, I'm not in need, at least at this moment in time, but there are plenty out there, man, and that's why I got to donate to the Ignore Stoner Fund, because it doesn't just go to me, it goes into spreading the stoner love everywhere. Cash App Ignore Husky. It goes to help stoners everywhere. I will say today, like, I found out too that someone tried to bring in a fake $1 bill. Like, and they kept it, so they had it stickered up, like by the register. And the funny thing is, like, no one knew it up until like later when they were counting their till, and they're like, this is not a real dollar. Like, in comparison to the rest of the ones, and it literally had like a weird plasticky film on it. Like, it was very obviously not a real dollar. But what motherfucker counterfeits a one? A $1 bill, my dude. I mean, like, even a 20 I can get, but even a 5. But a $1 bill? I mean, like, the only logical thing I could think of it is, like, you just print out a fuckload of them that obviously are very fake, but if you mix it in with, like, 5s or other 1s and shit, most people are likely just gonna, like, grab that, handful of cash, and then, with it being in the middle of all of it, not touching it, not notice it. It'd be such a small amount you wouldn't notice. That's my assumption. You throw a few fake 1s or maybe even a fake, like $2 or whatever, like a low amount, mix it in with like a 5 or a few actual ones and shit, and you just give that, and then and nonchalantly people are gonna think, oh, ones or 5 or what. I mean, because then you could throw a bunch of them in there. But the thing is, when this person apparently when that fake $1 bill went in there, it was just the single one. It's like, are you just that cheap where you're faking ones like in mix of your ones? It's like, what the fuck? This is kind of dumb. Like, fake 100, fake a 50, fake a 20, or even a $10 or a fiver, but a one? Like, that is just straight crack shit, dude. That is like some cracker, like, cracked out shit. Not cracker, but like just some crackhead shit, bro. I don't really think there is a real logical backing into that, but whatever. I'm sure there probably is. At least the one I could think of. And that's so literally the only thing I can think of. It's like you have a bunch of them mixed in with a few real, legit, bills. $100 bill drawn in crayon. Well, at least for the $100 bill that I got, it was. I could tell it was pretty obviously fake, but I obviously was checking it, and it was like, yeah, nah. But I would have made sure it stayed, with the store to be like, hey, beware, we got this as a fake, blah, blah, blah. So then you can also feel for it, and all that shit. But, like, I initially thought maybe the lady got gypped a little, but when I literally had it down for a second to put her bong away that she wanted to buy, like, she snagged it on her way out, being like, I'll just come back or whatever. And then when I was going to be like, she was already gone. I was like, well, now I can't just go out there and stop her, be like, I need that. Like, I mean, blah, 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 blah. I mean, it's just like, but luckily, I mean, ultimately it was like a no harm, no foul. Nothing was lost or gained or anything. It's just like, hey, obviously it's just a beware thing for it. Though, I mean, at the same time, it's never happened for me before, so, it's also like, like, even the most, like, innocuous motherfucker will, be trying to be sneaky with it. Because, nothing struck me as with the chick that did that the other day as being, like, a tweaker or, weird or whatever. That's why I thought, at least initially, but it's when she swiped it back, it was when I was like, oh. Because if I, was duped on 100, why would I keep it? I mean, I guess in the attempt to be like, will somebody break it and then I can get real 20s out of it? But at that point, I ain't robbing that place. I'm robbing somewhere else, you know what I mean? So it's one of those things where it's like, no, I just go ahead and keep the fucking thing, let other people know that, there might be some fakes out there circulating. Because chances are, if like someone like her or anyone else, has a fake, they're probably circulating around here. So your mom today, I mean, I don't really have any time for her right now. Like, I already know this for sure. She always goes to bed around 8 o'clock, even when the times I have visited her very late. And, like, because I'm worked all day, from 11 to 7, like, there's just not much of an opportunity. Though tomorrow I definitely have time for it, so before I go to work, I'm making time to, go visit her for a little bit. Because I work 4 to 11, so I'm closing tomorrow, so if I, like, leave by noon and then, hang out with my mom for, like, an hour or so, then I can, head back, go straight to work from there, and, even if I'm, like, a little early or maybe slightly, I could just communicate, be like, hey, I will see my mama, might be slightly late, but just keeping communication or whatever, so. And I was going to try to let my coworker know about, like, hey, just in case for tomorrow, but he has a day off tomorrow, and it's the other guy I've worked with before who's closing with me, so I don't have that guy's number yet, so I can't let him know just in case ahead of time. So I'm just going to have to let, my boss know, be like, hey, just in case, let, so-and-so know that I might be a smidge late just because I was visiting mama, whatever the fuck, Shit like that. They can't be risk listening to job, just be early. Well, yeah, that's my game plan anyway. And frankly, if, I calculate the time, to get over to staying with mom and come back, if it's not like if it's not worth the risk, then I'll just do it for Monday because I'm not working Monday. I got that day off right now, as far as it stands right now. So, luckily though, I did actually get a chance, on some downtime, to kind of call for a little bit when I was like, I'm gonna step out for a little bit, grab like a snack and stuff, and I was actually finally able to kind of reach out and I let her know at least at minimal, like, hey, I wanted to tell you about a lot of shit, but very quick thing, let you know I'm still alive and been trying to reach out and why your phone stuff hasn't been fixed. She's like, oh well, they're still trying to find it and blah, blah, blah. Kind of giving the same excuse as the last thing I heard. I'm just like, Mom, come on. But I was just being like, hey, promises, for at least either tomorrow or Monday. And she's like, well, you better be. Not like, in a mean way, but, in that like mama, like, you better, son. Just so you're going to be expected to be late, that looks terrible. Well, I'm not. Well, hence why I'm really just going to look at like my time and whether it's worth doing it or not. Because I know like the walking distance and time it would take for me to get there outside of the buses and shit, and it would have to be like specifically timed right. And if I know that for whatever reason, and there frankly are already a few, as to mostly because of my mom, arguably, let's just be honest here, because she wants to get me around, loves talking, a lot, especially to me about various things. So I don't know, like, if I think Monday would just be preferable, but if especially if I wake up early enough and it's like noon or 12:30, then I'll be like, all right. But if it's like any later than that, then I'm gonna be like, nah. I'll just call her again and just talk with her for like an hour on the phone or something. Because I know she has like a Wi-Fi phone, so I'm gonna see if maybe I can get like a free text and call like app for her and just like have something set up and then just text me whatever that is, and then at the very minimal we could still talk and call and shit, until she gets her new phone again. Because that's just like what the fuck, especially my mama. It's like, come on, like I mean, I know that you're not in exactly position to like immediately like the next day do it, but it's like been like 3 fucking weeks now. Don't pack too much in one day. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm in work, man. Need to see my mama, hang with her, give her a lot of good news and shit. I don't know. Like, it's probably preferable for Monday. I mean, ultimately, I think you're probably right on that, but yeah. Kirk in the dirt. Is there someone literally just named Kirk in the dirt, spamming Kirk in the dirt? Dude, I love you. I don't know who you are, but I love you, dude. Fucking base. I honestly want to make you honorary mod just on that alone. If you're still in here, bro. Is your profile picture like related to this shit? No, it's not. I honestly deadass thought you had like a PFP of that shit, bro. Like with his gangly, like I deadass for a second I really thought it was, but it's not. That would have been extra, dude. Though to be fair, you probably could have get away with it. You would have to like heavily edit the shit out of it to make it look like a art rendition or something. But dude, I fucking love that guy. I kind of really deadass want to make him honorary mod, bro. I don't think he'd ever come back, but I don't give a fuck, dude. That's awesome. Kirk in the dirt, bro. Oh my fucking god, dude. That's my like new favorite little troll that I happen to see pop up in here, bro. Not even trolling me. I think he came in here thinking I was gonna be like, hey, what the fuck, bro? Immediately cut my shit off. I'm like, no. I mean, like, oh my god, I just find that kind of funny though. There's at least some people out there doing God's work. Just like Joshua Graham from Fallout New Vegas, we can't expect God to do all the work now, do we? Do this real quick as well. Okay. Just kind of went a little quiet. You quiet bastards, ye. Oh my, I just, speaking of that Kirk of the Dirt dude, I saw the most disturbing, freakiest fucking video ever. That's honestly even worse than the actual Charlie Kirk fucking assassination clips. It's his fucking wife, like, caressing his dead fucking hand and his, like, chest, like, like, holding on to him one more time, being like, I love you, baby, And, dude, it's actually genuinely fucking disturbingly creepy. It is fucking just wild. I'm not even joking. It's just like, I was like, it sent a shudder down. Oh, fuck. Even now, just thinking about it, I'm like, honestly, I had the half an inclination to feel bad for her too, on top of everything, but fuck her too. That crazy cunt is like, after his death, just fucking like, one more time, I must touch you. While he's all embalmed and not even, oh my God, what a crazy bitch. She's fucking, dude, she's a lunatic. I guess it kind of have to be to marry a fucking Nazi. I mean, honestly, what did I expect? What did I expect from that bitch? Because he was already really weird looking, so imagine that except age like 50. Oh wait, while on subject, man, Dirt, what do you think he would have looked like as an old man? No, she's immediately got back on the money train. Dude, have you seen the video I'm talking about? She did that on her own accord. Like her being, speaking out, being like, I'm going to continue his legacy or whatever. Like, yeah, that is. But the video I'm talking about, she did that on her own accord. No one told her to do that. And in fact, if anything, they would probably advise her not to. Do a photo op where you're like there one more time with him, but not make a video where you're like caressing his fucking like suit and shit. I was saying that, saying no in agreement. Oh. Well, no, well, yeah, I mean, because ultimately she is, I mean, for sure. But, like, it's like, because, I mean, in a way, like, that's how she was supporting her and her kids. Like, was that Charlie Kirk had his career. So, of course, she's gonna, like, basically jump on it. Which now I'm only realizing how confusing that is. Nah, you're fine. You're okay. But... like I said, man, the video I'm talking about, I saw it because Vosh found it because someone linked it to him on Twitter, so I don't know if someone, like, uploaded it elsewhere besides that. I don't even know if there's, like, a Vosh clip or, like, a, Vosh, like, channel video where it's there. I saw it when he happened to be live, so, I mean, it was his live show yesterday. Well, no, actually, it was today. Was it today? No, it was today, actually. Never mind, I'm scratching that. It was early this morning because I was watching him live and he was doing a quick little thing before he was doing some gaming and shit. Like, he was reacting to, like, this crazy bitch on BBC, saying how, like, the left is, like, violent and shit by mentioning his name, Destiny, and a song. So it's just like, damn, bro. But then he reacted to that, and again, bro, fucking creepy shit. Cool hair, dude. Thanks. I only have it in a ponytail, too. I don't even have it, like, in its full voluptuous status. But early, for the first, like, 3 hours of work, I've been sweating balls and shit, and, like, 5 hours later, it's still, like, kind of a little eh. I'm definitely gonna shower tonight, especially for my hair. It's a little, back here, it's a little oof. Even, I guess it's not really as bad as I thought. Earlier, it was looking a little, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it was just, yeah. What the fuck? Ay. That's why I love hats, because sometimes it's just stupid, crazy bullshit. Hate money. Yeah, hey. I hate, the system that, perpetuates, our current concept of money, especially. And realistically, ultimately, just money itself. Imagine if Charlie got a Pat Robertson age and he, all hunched over, appears in your room in the middle of the night, smiling down you with his gum stretching from ear to ear, hands outstretched. Honestly, I do think that he his like face would, in a weird way, I feel like his face would unironically get smaller because of aging. You know how like like there are certain parts of your body that are like always growing, like your ears, your nose, different parts of your body, right? Just because of like the cartilage and shit like that, all that stuff, right? So as he gets older, a lot of factors about him are literally going to continue to grow like that, right? Like, because that's just every human body. That's just what happens. So that thus makes every other feature smaller. His face would unironically get smaller with age. That's why it seems like every time we see him, his face is that much. Dude, remember, like, did you see pictures of him from like a decade or so ago? I'm not even joking. Like, his face is like normal sized. Like, I'm dead ass. Like, there was something about his head that and just how he aged, where he would just like not like ballooned, like getting fat, but like his face just didn't like match at least his head after a certain point. How long does it take to grow hair that long? Genetic factors, and at least for me, a decade. And honestly, it's because I rarely ever fucked with it. Like, I mean, a decade ago, I used to have all this shit, still on the sides. But after I'd say, um, just before 2020, or maybe around that time, like 5 something years ago, I decided, mostly because of the knots and other bullshit, I was like, fuck it. Now, just. I did it on one side thinking, let's see how that works. And I just have everything to one side. And I was like, I fucking hate that. Let's just slick it all back and do the other side. And I was like, this looks way better. And now I'm at a point where I'm like, I'm trying to kind of grow it back here and then let it kind of fade back in. And I'm thinking after a certain point, I might just say fuck it and pompadour mullet this bitch. I've been thinking about that for a while now, but I'm thinking about genuinely changing it up here a little bit. So there won't be any more top ponytail thing either. But that's another thing. Like, I don't want to, like, I want to, like, because I have two choices. I could do that, or I could just shorten everything and keep this top stuff all long and just have a fucking top tail thing going. Like, I could do that. But that's like kind of going a little old school, like with the hipster style from like 2015 and shit. Like, back when, so I don't know. I feel like a pompadour mullet would be way better because the mullet unironically is kind of coming back into fashion. Like, and there are definitely people out there like Stefan or Rip City's brother, Marcus. Like, he rocks a mullet. It's not like your traditional, like, old school mullet, but it's a mullet. It's like a modern, mullet, and it fucking rocks on him. I've even told him my pompadour mullet status, idea, and he was like, bro, fucking sick, man. Gotta rip those mullets, baby. Like, he's like, hell yeah, dude, he wants it. Because honestly, I mean, I got the head shape for it, I got the hair for it. The main thing I would have to do is just constantly make sure I got this shit on lock. I can't really have a day where I'm just slacking off of it, outside of maybe at least brushing it, like, I would have to do a lot more maintenance besides just brush it back and then just tie it back. At least tie this top shit back. I always do that. Like, that's always constant maintenance. I'll sleep with this shit on like that. I don't even care. In a weird way, it's kind of easier to try to, like, tie it back and after you brush and shit. The only thing is that every now and then you just get annoying hairs and a little slight tangles or whatever. And obviously when you're tossing a tourney or whatever, like, this shit gets really loose, so it just goes in whatever direction. But I mean, honestly, like, it's better than your entire hair having like a weird, like, bird nest, growing and manifesting, because they're like, toss and turn, moving around. At least I do. So with long hair, I just say fuck it. I don't do like this tied up, but I will tie this thing on the top, and I always keep that tied up now. I mean, it's to the point where if I untie it, it will just naturally just stay like this and stay kind of swept back, albeit like it will bloop, fall to the sides, but that's just not going to look good. Actually, I mean, what would that look like? Fuck it, honestly. Oh, my lord, that's just, this hair, yeah, this needs to be washed, that's for sure. Well, yeah. See, there. Let me. Yeah. See, it just slicks back, and if anything, it just kind of slicks back, but falls kind of to one side a little. It kind of like wants to limp a little with it, but oh, yeah. See, oh god. Now, what if I? What? Yeah. What the fuck? I look like an alien species on Star Trek with this shit. Like I'm wearing like some ornamental. Oh my god! I literally look like some Star Trek alien. Oh my god! Yeah, that's bad. Yeah, we're not doing that. Yeah, it would have to literally be popcorn or mullet, or just keep this shit and then I just grow everything below it out evenly. And once it's long enough, then I can cut that. It's either that or a pompadour mullet, and then once everything kind of fills in, then I could just cut the back a little bit, so then it gets all a little even, and then I could just even it out more as shit grows out more. At least with a pompadour mullet, I can kind of let everything fade back into place and at least look somewhat uniform. You know, that's why I'm kind of trying to do that now, and every now and then, at least from like the ear, from the very back of the ear forward, every now and then putting some fade in there. But less and less I'm, doing shit here. And if anything, eventually I'm gonna like just start doing it from like the front end of the ear forward. Until like, at least a certain point, if like the lengths aren't quite even, shit like that. Mohawk or mullet. No, it's either like, well, I guess I could do that, but I would need like the very back of my head too, like I do now. I could do a mohawk now if I wanted to, and it would be fucking long. It would be like one of those ridiculous, gigantic, like Liberty Spike or a Liberty fucking wall of, hawk. Like I could have a mohawk that is fucking diabolical. That will take hours of hairspray, appliance, to make it work. And I definitely don't want to shower for like 3 hours to get it all out. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I ain't doing a mohawk. They're fucking cool, and maybe for like special occasions, like I'm playing as like in a band or whatever, and we got like a show every month or something that we do. Like I do for shit like that potentially, but like not just on a regular occurrence. Fuck no. I mean, that's why the mullet is preferable because I could still kind of like do like a pseudo like kind of full hawk mullet thing where if I got fucking got a little loose hair, where I could like with the short part of like the front of my head, let it swoop up and then like kind of slick back into like a little bit of a fade and then just all kind of waterfalls down. I could do a little bit of like a faux hawk status of with a mullet at least, so I could do a little both, and that won't be as big of a deal, at least in the sense of maintenance and getting it out and working with that, so I feel like a mullet, honestly, arguably is probably just going to be easier to work with what I have going on right now, so that's probably what I'd be doing. It's not going to happen necessarily anytime soon yet, but I'm feeling like after a while I might, maybe by like New Year, I feel like I might, commit then. For right now, I'm still really kind of debating it and still like, I'm thinking, I'll just let the winter, like, because I'm definitely not going to be shaving and trimming the shit up as much for the winter, just so I get at least some extra little organic, natural layer of warmth on my head for the winter and stuff. So I'll at least, let that happen and just see what it kind of looks like by, like, January, and I'll probably be like, fuck it then, but I don't know. We'll see. Because, ultimately, there are people that already think I have a mullet just because I wear a hat all the time, and then I do this, and then they see that, and they're like, oh, you don't. I'm like, which kind of validates why I should probably just say fucking have one. Because, my shit's already slicked back like this. It's, might as well. I just kind of want to let other stuff happen first before I fully commit to it. Because I feel like if I did it like now, it would just not look completely great. Like, and I would definitely be keeping the hat on for sure. But like, I feel like after, a little bit of time, and letting this kind of fill in a little bit more, then eventually it should look okay. Because then, I could get stylized, so then there could be like a little stuff to fill, on top of this where like my hair is like flat, then poof, kind of does this little arch shit. Kind of fill that a little, same thing for over here. And then just like at that point, You know, like just literally at the very front here, just kind of let it slowly fade back into just, an even thing, at that point. Because I noticed, I don't know why, but especially the top part of my head here grows a lot more because I trim this shit way more than anything else. And it always, like, within a month is back to this shit. And it's just like, because every now and then it'll just stick out like that. And it's always in at the very front, too. Even on this side. It's like, I don't like that. So eventually, I just have to kind of hella maintain, a little fade here and just do it less and less as time goes on, and then eventually just let it grow. And at that point, shit should be able to even out enough on its own to where if I decide to just let all my hair be long as fuck again, I could just, basically let the back of it, be trimmed down while everything else meets it, and then I could just let it all grow from there. And if it's like a little layered where like the front of it is a little shorter than the back, I don't give a fuck. It already is kind of like that ish anyway. So, wouldn't be a big deal to me. Ooh, that feels good. Mm. It always feels good to get all the joints popped. I love how like it feels like every year I always hear different contradictory information about whether this is good or bad for you. And I'm pretty sure it's like settled now, but this doesn't do anything negative to you doing this shit. Because I grew up, being taught that it's actually not good and it makes arthritis and shit worse. But I'm like, I feel like I have arthritis when I don't, and shit's more loose when I do it. I always knew that it's kind of bullshit a little bit because you're getting like little air pockets and little like other little like gaseous, internal bodily gaseous like pockets out of like certain little spots where it does add like a little pressure, and thus you're popping that out and displacing it all throughout the rest of your body and shit. Because sometimes it will just like, concentrate in certain areas like joints. And it's like, oh, like that, like you could just. Don't got one here, but I did right there though, and that felt good. Let's see if I could, because I had my thumb cracked here once, and to this day it's always been a little fuckety, but I can always pop the fuck out of this thumb ever since. And dude, let me tell you, it feels so good where I almost wish that this thumb was fucked up like this one so I could pop it hella good. Because there are times where this one's got a little stiffness. I'm like, I just gotta pop this, and I just fucking can't. But I know, but the times that I have, oh, it's euphoric. But it's just so easy here because, maybe it's like, this tendon or whatever. I don't know what it was. Like, it's like a smaller bone piece that definitely cracked or whatever. It was literally because I caught a fucking football wrong while we were camping for the solar eclipse back in 2017. So almost like a decade ago now, where I had an injury, and to this day, the thumb itself isn't like, it's got a full recovery. It's just got that permanent little like, I could just extra crack it up if I wanted to, especially when it feels a little stiff in comparison to this thumb. In a weird way, it was kind of a silver lining because also when like we were camping when that happened, and even to my friends, I was like, "Fuck, dude, this ain't good, bro." I could tell something's really actually wrong, and I think it was Logan being like, "Oh, come on, it's just a soreness. It's like a bruise. You'll get over it." I mean, I did, but bro, it moving my fucking thumb for anything was a bitch, and thus really a lot of my hand. Like it sucked. I mean, I didn't. It wasn't like debilitating, but it definitely sucked. It didn't like take away from the trip, but especially afterwards when I was going back to work and having to deal with all that. Yeah, it for like a month it was pretty shitty. Dude, I could pop my feet. Doesn't happen often, but it does like catch and mow me dick. Oh, I could do the same, especially with my big toes. Ooh, I just did it with both of them right now. Oh, dude. Oh, Have you know, like how you have a bone that's in, like you got your big one on your thigh and shit, right? But if you can kind of feel it, there's like a smaller one that kind of, that's next to it, right? That bone, you got the big one, you get that small one. I can pop those bitches and my knees by like, I don't know if anyone's tried it before, but try it if you can. Like you kind of have to like either stretch. You have to kind of like sit on something like couch like I am works. Put your feet together and then just like press down with your feet, but spread away with like your thighs and knees. If that makes sense. Like you're putting like a pressure point where you can dead ass kind of pop some shit in there, and bro, it feels so good. If you can figure the technique and get it down a little bit, especially when you're feeling a little extra soreness in your legs, oh my god, that feels so good. I'm gonna try something good right now. Actually, not really, but I do feel like I can stretch my waist and do this a little bit. And, oh fuck yeah, that was good. So I can't really do it right now with what I was just talking about, but ooh, got a little bit of a lower back though. Got a couple good pops there. That felt really good. But hey, but if you can and get that down, oh my god, it feels so good. And sometimes you could do it while you're at like an angle like this, sitting down like this. I've done it before. Because sometimes I can get my knee doing that too. Can't really do it in any other way though, but I mean, like the soles of my feet, I could pop them sometimes. Teach me your ways. The soles of your feet? Dude, I have had only maybe like one time where I've gotten close to that, where I somehow got the arch of my foot to pop. I don't even know how I did it, but I did, and I was just like, dude, the feeling, it hurt for a second. I was like, oh god, but I was like, oh god, oh, because the loosiness after that, and just that, it was, whoa. I will say, I mean, when you can get some good shit, like, dude, I will say, I think there is a little something to like, you know, uh, like massage therapy slash like, certain shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's like any like official true like cure treatment science or whatever, but for like once in a blue moon, get shit stretched out, pop a few things where you normally can't, I mean, doing that once in a blue moon every now and then is probably got to do some fucking wonders for the body, especially when you got someone who knows how to stretch and rub down the right spots where they can pop a few things, and you're like, oh, like, I will admit, like, I mean, it shouldn't be really treated as like a medical thing, but every now and then, like, we deserve that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need that. We need like someone who just knows what the fuck they're doing when it comes to like popping certain things and massaging down like muscles and stuff, to where by the end of it you literally feel like a baby. I mean, obviously that can't be like, a complete absolute because results may vary, but I feel like I deadass am kind of been needing something like that for a while. Get a little extra cleaned up, a little extra, a little touched up a little bit. Do that because I'm not just gonna do it on a casual day. Like I actually want to kind of like, kind of actually like, not just literally clean up, but also clean up, a little bit for it. Because I don't want to just be like some crust punk, walking in there. I'm gonna care about the worker enough to make sure they at least, have a quality customer. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling that a little bit. I haven't done one in a fat minute, to be honest. Like I've been to a chiropractor like a couple times, just on the virtue of just having like a little massage, a little pop some shit down kind of session and stuff. Like, and been to massage parlor a few times doing that. And it's, only like maximum maybe like 3 or 4 times ever. Like I said, like a blue moon kind of thing. But like, but again, like I also said, I think every now and then like that. Especially for me, it's been a while, and I feel like I kind of need it a little bit. I always try to keep myself stretched and nimble, and try to avoid being stationary if I can and stuff. I can't help obviously doing these and shit, for the most part. I mean, but that's why at least, well, like, hey, walking dogs or grabbing one more burr, bringing you guys, fuck it, get up, stretch, do all that shit. Even at work, because there's so much downtime, even just on the virtue of like, I'm just bored. Like, I'll literally just get up and wander around, like, very slowly, kind of stretching a little, but being like, all right, even if it's like kind of like meaningless to do, can I at least like feign work, and at least do something? And luckily, at least, for like the last hour, I had like fuck all to do, but there was at least like, these windows are a little dirty. These floors are also a little, So I just kind of did little things here and there. But then I realized that, like, there were certain products that just were not in the system because for some reason, whoever was trying to, like, put the products into an inventory out fucked up. I know it ain't me. I know that for sure. It's somebody else because I'm like, why in the fuck ain't this ringing up? And then I realized someone put this all out there but forgot to add it into the inventory and shit, so now it's acting like we don't have it's like, oh my god. It's like, wow. So I at least spent like maybe 10 minutes just like picking a random thing just to see if it's like, especially if I remember it like not ringing up, and then be like, okay, it's at least in the system. All right, it is. It thinks we have nothing, so it's like, oh, you've exceeded the limit of what you got, or whatever the fuck it says. And I'm just like, well, fuck me. Let me add it. I gotta do that now. Because someone else forgot to do it or didn't do it right. Because, like, things will sell, but then they don't do the inventory right. And it will act like we don't have anything, and we obviously do. So you have to go to the inventory thing, and there's a certain way to make sure shit gets added properly. And after doing that, it's like, you add not only the number that you have that you're adding to the inventory, but also what is already in stock. This is another weird thing about at least their inventory and adding product and shit, is that, when it's like, hey, what's the number, that you're adding, and normally you're going to think, all right, it's adding, you're adding the number on top of what's on stock. No, it's including that. So you can't be like, oh, I'm adding 5 because you have like 5 of, a product and there's still like 2 left. You have to put 7. You have to like, make sure of that. And it's a little like convoluted in a weird way. I kind of want to see if there's maybe a possibility of like, is there a way to change that? So it's not really as tricky and it's just more easier to do. I don't think there is. But maybe on some downtime without like overtly fucking with anything, maybe I can at least, see if there's maybe something in this, like not the settings, but at least like, when adding something, if there's already a possibility of doing that and there's just a button that no one's noticed or something. Because I know that when it comes to like doing cash and stuff, like there's like straight up like 2 or 3 different ways to do that, but one of them is the most streamlined and easiest way to handle that. And luckily, that's way easier than how I was initially taught. The way I was initially taught was like some other shit where I'm like, this is like literally like 2 extra steps on how to handle this. Like, whoa, this is a little extra. But then when my GM the other day was showing me some stuff, like he showed me that, and I was like, for cash, you do it like this. I'm sure you've done cash details already. I'm like, yeah, and they showed me like that. And it's like, that's like adding 2 or 3 extra steps where you don't need to. Here's like the 1 step. And I was like, that is way easier. Thank you. I was like, holy shit, that is way easier to do. I make great money right now. I haven't even been at work for 3 hours and I'm already at $80. Fuck yeah, dude. Sounds like you might be in a celebratory mood when you come back after work there, buddy guy. You so cute. You are a sleepy little bean. I heard that you and Vito almost snuck out and ran away. I'm assuming that you kept your brother in his place and kept him nearby, though. In my little toss and turn before work waking up, I overheard some stuff like that. What were you all thinking? Hmm? Jesse don't give a fuck. Vito probably would. That's why he's not over here right now. Because if you know if I was chewing him out, he'd be like, "Oh, I know what did wrong. Oh no." I should have let him out of the backyard. It didn't let me go potty yet today. Oh yeah, I can do that. And I made sure to like double check with that gate too because I overheard about that, early this morning. So I was like, after I came back, I like kind of double checked to make sure it was closed. So yeah, I can make sure. Actually, where is he just like hanging out in his cage? He is. What's going in there, buddy? You go hide. Those ears. All right, come on, bud. I'll just leave it open for them for a little bit. Then come back on their own leisure. Ugh. Got some bullshit. We're gonna have to fix that gate. We'll just have to put a lock on it and give everyone a key. Yeah. Well, I think I was looking at it, and I think it's just because like the actual lock part is loose, like the nails or the screws in it got like a little like slightly unscrewed or whatever. So it's just slightly loose, so it kind of goes up and back, so it doesn't like sometimes it might not actually like latch on. That's why I like pulled on it a little bit, made sure it's latched on, and then it like it kind of like went back in place a little bit. So I think you just got to like screw it back in and just make sure that maybe put some Loctite on it. Just tighten them up. With the screws. Maybe put a little bit of Loctite, and it should be fine. I think that's just what the issue is. Like, cause from what I could tell, it's not fucked with for nothing. I think it's just a little loose with the screws. I mean, I could be wrong, but at least just from my observation, that's what it looks like. Though, to be fair, having a lock on it is not a bad idea, and just having a key, so then, like, once all that shit, because then at that point, obviously when I come back, then it's just like, any other, it's like even come back to my place, unlock, my shit, and there you go, Oh, and also I'd pay for it too, but also maybe get like a copy of at least the front key. Just on the virtue of like if like trying to unlock the lock is actually difficult or whatever, or just a bitch, or if I have groceries or whatever the fuck, right? Like I could just go to the front at that point. I guess depending on my work schedule, there might at least be somebody here. I know Harley's still here, so I mean. I could just maybe call him and be like, "Wake up, bitch, and let me in." You know what I mean? Or maybe before I go to work, because I know he's still awake, be like, "Hey, like, if you wake up sometime around like 5 or 6 after Logan leaves for work or some shit, can you like make sure front door's unlocked? When I get off work or something." Make a pit stop here or something like that. But I guess that just depends on the shift too. If it's like 11, for like a closing shift, and obviously that ain't happening. Hey, Jazzy, you all back? All right. Now we can close the back sliding door. Sweet babies. You little chomp. Tater. Wow. Goofy boy. Why are you like kicking your feet into Jazzy's face? You goofy thing. Wow, Vito. Wow. Without a fuck to give in the world. Oh, fuck. That reminds me. Remember, I need to still grab another fucking pack of that shit. Ah. God damn it, I just realized that. Ugh. Well, I just realized there might actually be like kind of a quick little adventure time just for one little thing. Or shit, yeah, that won't work. Harley's gotta leave for work soon. If he was like popping out like right now, I'd be like, yo, I know we gotta get ready. Could do that like now and then like hang out over here for a sec while I run off. Entertain on the stream or whatever for a minute and just talk about random bullshit. I don't fucking know. But nah. Why do I have a feeling that, he would just quietly just sit here while looking at random memes and just, why do I feel like that just would not turn out well? There we go. Nice. Oh, that's a nice. Man, surprisingly, like, despite yesterday, like, sleeping more, not even really having a laborious day for my job, and all that shit. Like, I'm actually kind of surprised that I'm more awake and energized today. With it being more laborious, I feel like I should have a coffee crash out at this point. And I barely slept at all. Like, by the time Logan got off work, it was like 4:30 in the fucking morning. Well, by the time he got back here, and I was like just about to start like going to bed and dozing off at that point. And I kind of question mark. I was up for at least like, I don't know, maybe a maximum hour and a half, but not by much. Just enough to kind of hang, chill, and then start on DS9. But I think by that point, I was just like, and then next time I know, I'm like kind of like off and on hearing Logan and Harley talk and shit because he comes back from work literally like a few hours later, and I'm like, oh my god. I'm literally in my head like, maximum I'm getting like 2 hours of sleep, am I? And dead ass, I'm pretty sure maximum I had like an hour in between when Harley came back and when I had to go to work for actual sleep. Not that it was like, a problem, like, I don't give a fuck, but like, I feel like I should just be way more exhausted and just out of it, dead. But yesterday, I was like that. Like, is my body just in this weird, like, your emergency use of, like, energy thing right now? I don't know. But I'm honestly shocked that I'm not as tired as I was yesterday. Like, I was kind of low energy for a while, like, when I did my stream, because I did power nap, too, a little bit after work, and then I was like, oh, Harley left for work. Fuck it, start my stream up or something, Like, I mean, at that point, I mean that probably is part of it, but but yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, the fact that I just barely slept at all the last night, you would think you would think I'd be sleeping right now, but you know. I do admit, if I had Jazzy like on my lap or anywhere near me, or like sitting over here, like I feel like her sleepy spell would be doing a lot. Where that would actually like impact me, where I'm like, oh fuck, okay, now I'm tired. Something about Jazzy really does that. Not even Zukov or Vito really has that energy or ability. Jazzy is kind of unique in the abilities of like just lulling you into a sleep. To be that guy because anyone who says not to be that guy is a liar. You know you want attention. No one likes a humble bragger, but you missed a lot of comments. Where? Oh, well, okay. My bad. My bad. Yeah. Well, no, I read that part. Are they strict about using your phone? What at my workplace? Um, kind of ish. Not really. It really just kind of dead ass depends on what's going on for the most part, and because there's so much downtime usually, they're not going to care. But as soon as the customer rolls up, or if they roll up, they being mostly the vice president of the company or whatever, like you don't want to be caught mainly with an earbud, like which I do just because like I'm listening. There's the store music that I can turn off like some other shit, but then it's just like for me, I can at least have that listen to like, a Paul stream or like DFF if they happen to be live or, whoever, like I can at least, watch that, still listen to a little music. And then whenever people show up or anyone, it immediately is like popped and sat on my chair and I get up and I'm like, hey, what's up? Immediately like, nope, it's gone. But at least when it comes to the VP, like you don't want to be caught anywhere near being like that's going away. Like you don't, you want to be like that just isn't around. Being on the phone is one thing, but especially if like there needs to be some inventory or some other shit. Because my first experience with him, he was kind of like, "Why the fuck y'all not doing anything? You're a new guy. Why you not do like He was a little like, "Whoa," but today he was chill. Just asking me, just doing a bunch of other shit, mostly laborious, like moving a bunch of fucking shit around. But like, at least to me, he was actually far more laid back. Still pretty blunt and quick. And dude, I'm noticing he has a very signature thing where he chain smokes so fucking much because that office was rancid. Like, I was like, dude, especially because I'm still kind of waking up a little and my gut, I haven't had anything to eat yet, dude. It was hard for me to be like, well, oh fuck, because dude, it was kind of hard. Not even lying, because he would chain smoke in there. I swear to God, every time I saw him, he had a new cigarette, and he has this like every now and then he has this. He has this like I'm thinking, and he has like this very, like this very signature like I'm thinking about something here. Not necessarily in a bad way. It's just like, you could tell, it's just that like smokers, I'm in thought moments, and I'm just like, he does that every time, and literally with a new cigarette every time. Like that guy's a chain smoker, dude. It was funny. He got on my coworker for vaping in the shop, in the store, and it's just like, you chain smoked the shit out of that office, dude. Like, I mean, like my coworker was not wrong when he's saying that you're one to talk. I mean, I ain't gonna say shit. I ain't vaping or nothing. So it's like, I ain't got no room to say shit really, but it's like, damn, bro. It's definitely a little like fucking hell, a little really overbearing. And I've been around smokers for a lot of my life, and it's just like, dude, when I say it's overbearing, it really is. I can't imagine someone who just really can't be around that shit or just not tolerate it. Like I can't imagine being like someone like that and having to deal with that. Uh, and also like I think I narrowed it down. I'm pretty sure he's not Iranian. I'm pretty sure he's like Syrian or Lebanese, something like. Because I do recognize this much, like when he was popping off on the phone, to somebody being like, "You need to pick your shit up," blah blah blah, whatever. And I was right next to him, and I honestly at first thought like he was yelling at me for a sec, so I immediately like turned around, being like, "Oh shit!" But he was just on the phone like, blah blah blah, blah with his cigarette, being, ugh. I just, then he would just start going off in Arabic, and I'm like, because I can recognize it that much. I mean, I'm like, whoa, he's not happy to the point where he's like being like, "Habibi, I heard about something," and I'm just like, oh, whoa, he is not happy. Like, and I guess when it gets to a point where he starts yelling at you in his language, and then it's like, okay, yeah, you fucked up somehow. Sounds like my dad. Bro, yeah, okay, so that really does. So he might, yeah, like, Syrian, Jordanian, something like that. I initially was thinking it was Iranian because I haven't heard him like, distinctly talking in his, native language that much. But today I was hearing it a lot, and I could tell for sure that it's Arabic, from what I know. So that narrows it down for me. Because if it was Iranian, he would be speaking Iranian, and it's I suppose like to an average Westerner or an American, they wouldn't know that much of a difference, but there's differences. Although he's like Jordanian, originally from Palestine, I think. Yeah, I don't know much about that guy background, but I do know this much. Like, the actual owner of the company, which I did meet him earlier today too, for the first time. It's like, hey, you new guy? Or at least I'm pretty sure he was the owner. Like, at least from what I could tell, I don't know if he really was or not, but I could tell that he was obviously at least one of the main brothers, for sure. I just don't know if he was the main owner, but I'm like 90% sure he was. That dude's like hella chill. But that guy has like a million children. He has like a million kids, bro. Because like I thought that I was seeing the same dude, like kind of going back and forth because he was like dropping shit off, from like from our store to their store. But like my coworker's like, bro, are you sure? Because it's hard to keep track of all of them, because there's a lot of kids, bro, and they come here a lot. I'm just like, wait, how many? He's like, I really don't know. A lot. So I'm just like, it's like you can tell, from some of them, but a few of them basically are like twins. I'm just like, oh god. So I probably met like 2 or 3 of like that dude's kids without even necessarily realizing it, or maybe it could have just been one of them. I don't fucking know. Like I was kind of like, okay, interesting. I mean, and all of them actually seem like really cool and very chill as fuck, laid back. Like everyone else, like is actually pretty awesome from what I can tell. So I mean, like it's just that one dude. He's just got like this energy, which I don't even mind necessarily because hey, it ain't at me. So I just know that I should expect that maybe if like he's just not good. You know what I mean? Like. And like I said, I think as long as I'm just like, you want me to do something, all right, I'll do that. And I think then it's, you'll be fine. You know what I mean? So, cause like when it comes to like people who are like Iranian or broadly like Middle Eastern, when it comes to business, this is seriously like now that I'm working here, like I sort of fuck. This is just the fucking truth. I don't even know, bro. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe there's like some gray area diamond in the rough shit, but it's either like a lot of them are going to be super fucking chill, or a lot of them are going to be kind of blunt and a little not like aggressive but really intense, and especially if you're kind of on their bad side, because you're impacting their business in that way, then yeah, they will be kind of a dick. But it's just like if not, then they're chill despite that, like I mean, that's just one thing I've noticed, and it's like, I kind of, in a weird way, dig it. Honestly, I mean, because I just hate this weird like pseudo. I'm actually chill with you, but fuck you kind of type of manager. Like, I just want one who's just kind of blunt, intense, and just straight to the point. You know, like I actually respect that and prefer that way more than like some of the managers I've had to work with in Safeway and shit. Like, so many of them would seem like they're chill, but give it a few months, they're fucking terrible. Like, like how with the last store director who is still working there, I guess, being a store director there, which ugh, despicable, because she is just not good at her fucking job for one. Because I assumed like, hey, she's a new manager, she's got like some shit to figure out, but she just literally became like a yes man to her fucking higher ups to the point where she just is just very fucking incompetent at her job. Like, instead of being an actual fucking store director or store manager, she's just listening and just like, oh well, I guess this is what I ought to do because like the shareholders or like the district president or whatever the fuck they said. And my district manager said so, or whatever. It's like, I don't know. Maybe because the department managers and the people of the store who have also been there way longer than your ass, maybe it's because they ought to have said so. Because they know what's going on. There was, and she would have this whole thing where she would act like that and be like, oh, I'm on your side, but never was. Including with my shit. I'm still fucking, like, aggravated over that. And like I've said before, not gonna beat the dead horse over it, but like I swear to God, bro, once I have a little bit of funds in the pocket and shit, at least a little side expendable stuff, I'm legit gonna like look at some labor attorneys to like get a little settlement or something, because like it was bullshit with how they handled it. Even if technically they might have been in the right when it comes to something like, oh, even if you're unawares, or our policy has changed about when it comes to workers taking food home if they work at the deli or whatever. It's like, instead of like like informing about policy changes, and thus also like at least for those who have worked there for a long time, when things are different, it's like you can at least give some fucking grace for people who are new. Yeah, I can understand being hard ass on them because, they're expected to know that when the shit's changed and you're training them on that, presumably. So it's like, I mean, it's bullshit when, especially, they mentioned that they would communicate back with me about whether I'd be terminated, suspended, or otherwise. And they never did that whatsoever. Not once was I communicated about that shit. They, interrogated me and basically fucking hounded my ass for a little bit, said, hey, you're suspended until we contact you again about this, and blah, blah, blah. Don't, talk to your coworkers, or if you can help it, really not the store or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I think, like, and they said if you can help it, avoid the store. And I think I only went there like once or twice just to like grab some groceries, to be like, well, I just need to grab some food because I don't have any, right now. And I'm just like, shit, need something. And even then, I think I was like, do I got some funds to maybe just like go to like, like a little restaurant or something and just grab something that's pretty inexpensive or whatever and just take it to go. Like, and sometimes I do that, and at least for the first little bit it was, but like at a certain point I'm like, you know what, this is getting too expensive. I'm just gonna go in there. They can't fucking get at me about it. And it's like they just said at least try to avoid it if I can and shop, at a different location. I'm just like, no. Like, I mean, I'll avoid it, obviously, at least, but if I need some groceries or if I want to grab a beer or whatever the fuck, I mean, unless it's, I guess with the beer I could go 7-Eleven, which I did, but, like, for anything else, it's like, shit, I'm just gonna go there, grab a couple things and fucking leave. And I know for a fact that I was not trespassed or not allowed to be there whatsoever during my suspension bullshit. So, it's like, and they knew and said that there's no punishment on that. It's just that if I talk to my coworkers in my department directly about this shit, and really just in general, and I didn't go over there. So they can't get at me for that. Like after I clocked off and let them know, like, hey, yeah, I'm not gonna be here tonight because they want me to clock off because of some shit. I can't say because they don't want me to, but you probably could, take a guess, and then I could text you or call you or whatever later after work or something. You know, because they can't stop coworkers from talking off the clock. When it's not on company time. Also, it's just like, after I found out I was straight up fired, yeah, I went over there letting them know, like, yeah, I'm fired. They didn't even bother calling me back or nothing about it. And everybody, not just in my department, but at that store, especially when it spread around, because it wasn't just me either. They did this to a few others. I was just like, the like lividness that people had, was pretty like astonishing from what I understand. Nobody was fucking happy about that. Even like some new people, like if anything, I actually remember some people quit, like, and because they're especially nowadays, there's like outside of like a few people here and there, I barely recognize anyone at the store at this point. Even some of the like newer people that were there when I was gone, or even like in between, from after that, like they're mostly gone now, outside of like a couple of them. I mean, I can assume probably better opportunities, but probably because of how fucking shit that job is now. I, especially at this point, wouldn't be working there anymore. I'm sure it's fucking shit. Because every time I'm there, even at my own department, it seems like it's just no good anymore. Like, at this rate, it seems like it's a little better, but not by much. Literally, the only reason why is because now it seems like they're actually, like, somewhat staffed. But that ain't really saying shit, to be fucking honest with you. At least of how the conditions are at that place. It's just fucking, just wow. And frankly, also, I still need to, like, kind of, like, recontact and reconnect with the union and be like, hey, do y'all have maybe labor attorneys I could, seek and stuff? Because at this point, I'm probably not a member anymore because I wasn't able to pay dues because they fucked me, in a way where it's not legal, because they could have terminated me on the way they fucking said it in the legal way. Call me back up, clock in one last time to have that last little meeting and be like, hey, because of X, Y, or Z, or we deem it, like, like all this shit, not, not valid defenses or whatever, like, and thus, terminate, like they could have done that. It would have been shit and terrible and it would have sucked. But, like, I mean, at least then they're just telling it to me instead of just waiting for me to fucking figure it out. Capitalism and antithesis of don't fix what's not broken. I fucking know, dude. It's ridiculous. That's why the whole, like, power of union is so fucking important. Because I know, like, in the past when, at least for Safeway, when there's been settlements and shit, it's because, there is, aid from the union and shit as well. At least to an extent, because they do have funds and labor attorneys. They got lawyers, so. And the United Food Commercial Workers Union nationally, well, internationally, is a really big union, a very huge one. And our local spans multiple states. From Wyoming to Idaho to Washington to Oregon, like, it spans a lot of states. So, it's just one of those things where it's just like, I know the funds are there. And frankly, even for, a technicality bullshit, it's definitely one of those things where it's like, yeah, like, it's at least somewhat worth fucking fighting, and be like, yeah, that's bullshit. Because even, like, if they had genuine merit for it, it's like, well, do it right. Don't do it with this backstabby, straight up illegal way of doing it, you fuck faces. Especially when I know my rights on this shit. Like, fucked around the wrong guy on that one. I'm just biding my time. I know the statute of limitations on this shit ain't, like, it hasn't been a full year yet. So, statute of limitations is still very fucking valid on it. And frankly, I'm kind of half tempted to be like, I'm naming the store director directly on this shit as well. Like when it comes to a suit like that. And frankly, I want to maybe see if I can get my two other coworkers, on the same page and maybe, do like a small civil suit together on it. Because don't have the contact information on one of them, but I know some people that very likely do. And then the other one is an old friend of mine, and I still have her contact somewhere, unless she changed her number or something. I know there's some people out there that still have her contact info and still, at least even on places like Facebook, interact and shit. So I got contact to her, and I even know where she lives if she's still living in the same place. So it's one of those things where I'm just like, I can at least maybe, hopefully, maybe get something out of it. And if not, well, fuck it, I guess. But I think there's a case. I don't see why there wouldn't be. Definitely gonna want to do my little venture time here soon, to be honest. Maybe smoke another little fatty bowl toke and then make our way over there. I guess I'll have to get y'all for half a second. Realistically, maybe 15 minutes. It won't be that long. If that, really. Lazy sleepy bean. Straight cheat little bean. Stretchy little bean. Yeah, definitely will bring the speaker too, because why not? Fuck it. I will say I hate the fact that like the store I'm gonna go to really quick for this. I don't know what it is. Like it's mostly ran by like I'm pretty sure like either a Indian or a Pakistani family, but they do not have AC in that fucking store. And bro, oh my god, it's hotter in there than it is outside. I'm not even joking. I'm just like, bruh. They have a fan, a singular fan, pointed like at you when you're like at the checkout or whatever. But it's just like, bruh, that ain't doing anything. I mean, leave the door open or something or shit. Like, it's a little like, what the fuck? Get like at least an AC unit or something. I don't know. Like, figure it out. It's like, god damn. I don't know why that store heats the fuck up so much. I swear to God, if they have like the heater on or something. Like, dude. Because it is like a warmer. Like, a food warmer, like in the kitchen. It feels like that. I'm not even joking. And he's just in there fine, not even cracking even a remote sheam, let alone a sweat. Just, like, it's just fine and normal for him. I'm in there like, oh my god, why is it hotter in here? Ugh. I'm just sitting here like, I just need to check out really quick. Cool, what's up? All right, cool, bye. I'm out of here. Oh my god, I'm dying. Like, I mean, in the winter, I bet it will be a blessing. But, dude, right now, it is like, oh my god. It's so bad, bro. It's just, Jesus Christ. Man, it's definitely like, what the fuck. Not even gonna lie, bro. But, hey, I know this much. It's quick in and out. Already know what I need. Like, I don't have to worry about it that much. But, this jack. Actually, might as well. Have the song. Just put the Bluetooth in my little pistol pocket. So that reminds me to get my little schneck out. For a simple little snack, these bad boys are so good. Make sure that none of them fell out. Okay, good. Just, just have napkins. There's just napkins in there. I'm just like make sure the pockets are empty because like I don't need a bunch of random. What what what? I have United Airlines fucking napkins in my pocket. I just have napkins in pockets, just everywhere. Let me guess. There's somehow a napkin in here, isn't there? No, there isn't. Wow, It's okay. I was about to be like, bruh, but okay. Uh, Is that all of them? I don't have any side pockets on his fucking jacket here, so I mean, don't have to worry about those. Is that weird? There literally is no like. There's no like this. I don't East Germany. East Germany. Like, what were you all smoking on this one? Because like your regular army jackets are like the exact same thing, but they have pockets. Why do these not have pockets? What is there a paramilitary like camp grumping or whatever? Like were they just not like luxurious enough for pockets? You get no side jacket pockets, comrade. Nine. I think Vito's already in his cage, which makes it so much easier. I hate that it's just goes in there though. Like when we come back, I'm definitely closing that cage up. When we're when they're all out and about, because I don't like that they go in there. I mean, I guess it's not a big deal, but it's like hang out, be with Unc, even if you're like somewhere in the corner. It's like, come on now. Hey, Jazzy, you're hanging with Unc. You're just over there in the corner with your tiny little head and your tiny little muzzle and your smooshy little face. Oh, well, hi, Vito. All right, jealous because I'm giving Jazzy a bunch of love loves. You stretchy bean. I mean, you probably should have just stayed in the cage because, like, you're literally about to go back in there in, like, less than 1 minute. That poor boy. The ignorance is bliss with him. There, loading one more up. Then, grab our one more thing that I stupidly forgot to grab before I did this. I literally realized just as I was pressing live, and then it was giving me like the 3, 2, 1 countdown. I was like, "Oh fuck! Oh fuck! I forgot to think." It's like, God damn it! Well, that's great. It's like, man, like seriously. He's doing the antsy like I'm wandering around and like you're doing the antsy thing there, buddy, and I hate to do it to you, bro. You just sat your big old plump boot down. You know what? Can I trust them? I think I can trust them. I think they'd be okay. It's not gonna be that long. It's just a quick back and forth. Can I trust you too? Oh no, Vito, with how that reaction was, just on the virtue of me asking that, no, I don't know. Peter, I know, okay. I don't even know what to do now. Like, I can't put you in the cage after this. Well, I could, but I'm just gonna give you some loves really quick first. How about that? Because I could do that. Shut the fuck out. Hey, 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 hey. He's fucking insane, bro. All right, I'm gonna have to sit for a minute. He needs to calm down first. Like, Jesus Christ. Dude, Jazzy is just like, what's up? I'm just kind of here. Floof. See, like, even if I can trust him to maybe chill, because it's like maximum 15 minutes, to and fro. Not even that. To grab what I need to get. It'd be like, really maximum 10 minutes now that I think about it. But after that energy, and I do got... I suppose I could, but I'm going to have to move a few things around first. Just, for, like, the insurance that they ain't fucking with it. Because there have been times where I'm like, I could trust it for a sec, and then I just, like, run somewhere really quick and run back. And they're just in the same spot that I left them. So, I don't know. Now that y'all calm down a little bit, maybe I can do that. I just kind of have to be like, TikTok and say fuck and then just like go. And just be all like, stay. And then just... Because it just kind of feels a little lame just stick him in there for a second and then just let him out and be like, why'd you put his in? Probably just better not to risk it though. Not that I don't think it would cause any destruction. Well, definitely not Jazzy, but I mean, I don't think Vito would, but I don't want him like snooping around and getting into something. Not that I don't think he would, like I said, but he's done it even when I'm here. He's done that before. The steak incident with Kara and Marcus, like that happened. Like he's got a track record, just like Zukov. Like so, I mean, your rap sheet ain't nowhere near as bad as Zukov though. Zukov has got like a fucking like Epstein list size rap sheet of crimes that dog has committed, bro. He is such a criminal, punk, rapscallion anarchist, man. What are you doing? I'm just gonna cage him really quick, run down to grab a pack because I forgot to do that when I got off work, and then just come back. I'm gonna walk him later tonight, but not right now. I was kind of debating on maybe just letting him be out, while I do that, because it ain't gonna be that long, but it's just better just being there. It's not that long. They'll be out and free after that, and then they'll have their little unk time, for a little walk later in the evening. So they'll be fine. I'm just kind of debating on maybe like, should I? Because I've done it before and they're fine, but Vito's a little too angsty right now. I feel like he would get into something while I'm not here. And because I am here, he ain't, because he just wants me. Mostly for what I'm assuming if I were to ask, do you want to, kind of thing. Like, I already know, like, how he's going to act. Like, even me just staring at him earlier made him go nuts. So, at this point, I'm just trying to let him chill for a sec before I'm like, all right, guys, cage time. So, because I knew that if I tried to cage him or let him chill before I left, Vito was just going to go ape shit. So, I'm letting him chill. He's chilling out, though. He's doing fine. I was going to give him a little pat, but I knew if I was going to do that, he would just get antsy again. Little Jets Wazzy. I love how you're like the most calmest dog of them all. Because even Zukov, he's like the most like hyper energetic little being. For a lot of good reasons, but like he has a lot of your energy too, but I mean you're just like the pure pinnacle of just cat dog. And you've never been around a fucking cat. Outside of one in your life. But Zukov was... I was born by the cats. Melded by them. Especially little Bandito. I didn't even have to say anything. Vito just put himself back in the cage. That's what I was waiting for. Perfect. And I'm just gonna wait a little bit more for him to get settled in there, and then I can get Jazzy on her way, and then I can go grab what I need. They had cats around, actually. Well, yeah. I mean, I know they did. I just don't know if as much like Zukov did. Like Zukov didn't have really any dogs predominantly outside of like me walking them to like the Loaman or like a park and there happens to be some dogs there. Like besides that, like they're he never really was like around them that much growing up. Outside of like, obviously before I got him, you know, so a lot of his experiences with social behaviors was with Bandit and the other cats that we had. He still wanted to play with them, and even with Loki, like he tries playing around by chasing them like they're prey, but when he gets up to the cat, he's like he does that. Like he never really goes after him. But I swear, like Zukov, I have a weird feeling that he might want to go a little, try to do a little nip or something, but he never does. I've seen him play around, with Loki and other cats with Bandit and stuff, and he never does. Loki just likes to run around a lot. Bandit would be like, "Fuck you," and swipe him, and Zukov would be like, "Ah, my nose," and he would get little scars on his nose. But Loki, he just runs around. He's like, "Oh shit, you big bastard! I'm in a spot you can't get me now, motherfucker. What's up, bitch?" And he'll just sit there, and then he'll just lay out and be like, "Oh, yes." I've seen him act like a little prince, hanging out in a certain spot where Zukov can't get to him, and he's just like, "What's up?" Just chilling. And Zukov's there, kind of like, "Damn it." He's staring at him, being like, "I want to play with you, but you're there, and I can't get to you, you bastard." I suppose at least he's got like a little playmate. And it doesn't really seem like it's really any aggressive thing either, which thank fuck. I do worry about it sometimes because I know he's got that energy in him. And I have seen him try to go after like rats before. And he is like straight up like, "Oh, I'll kill that motherfucker." Like I've seen him actually try to go after shit like that. And I'm like, "Oh, damn." Sweet little bean. Hmm. You know, this part of me. Oh, I just realized. Fuck, phone's at 24%. I just now that I just saw that. I'm thinking maybe actually I'll probably do a part two and just come back really quick and just let my phone hang here and charge. You know, just so it gets beefed up a little bit. I mean, the phone was already at like 95. Well, not even 95. More like 75 actually. Now I think about it. Yeah, it was at 75%. Like so, I mean, probably not a bad idea to just let chill and be plugged in for a second, and then we come back. Because like I said, it won't take that long. Just do a little part two, a little extra amortization with the playlist a little later and all that shenanigans. Are you using my back as a headrest? She's using my back as a headrest. What the fuck? You know what? I even just thought of something else. If I do part two, I can see if I can get some MAGA nut weirdos to come in here. If just me just chilling, got like at least like a Charlie Kirk troll, and even like last night, a little bit somebody kind of mentioned, like, I think I can get the algorithm. Yeah, now we're at a point where, I think, we could. I thought you were in your cage. Oh my god, dude. Great. But no, I think I'm gonna do that. And I'm also gonna take inspiration by that person that came in here earlier, being like Charlie in dirt. I mean, I think I'll just say Kirk in the dirt instead because that I feel like I would have said Charlie in the dirt. I feel like YouTube with their weird shenanigans would think it's like racist because of Charlie meaning like Viet Cong or Vietnamese and shit and Vietnam War. Like, well, I don't know why, but I feel like YouTube would be like no and try to suppress it. So I'm gonna have to be like Kirk in the dirt and then do some other shit. But either way, we'll figure it out. But we'll see if we can get some MAGA to come in here because I'm gonna still want to itch to fight with these motherfuckers. So we'll see. But anyway. If, come back for part 2 with Toodaloo Buckaroo, but if not, stay tuned.